right now.
Okay, it's quite late for you, right?
No, it's already 9 o'clock. I always close at 2 o'clock in the morning because of the time difference.
Okay.
So what can I
So
do for
you
you?
work across. Just do you sell in Dubai?
Well, the gold will not come to Dubai unless the buyer is really real because gold cannot leave the country without export documentation. Hmm.
Yep.
So your buyer has to introduce himself. We don't bring gold to
Okay.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which countries do you cover?
Mali, Conakry, and Sierra Leone. I will determine which seller I'm going to put your buyer after my validation. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You work across different countries, right?
I work Conakry, Mali, and Sierra Leone.
Okay.
I'm appointed by the company to handle sales and marketing. I'm the one who do the marketing on behalf of the seller. I know
Okay.
my seller.
So
Hmm.
okay, that is cool. And you have close deals with them
Yes,
successfully.
in fact, I just been to Africa before strike 2023. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I accompany the
Okay. That
buyer.
that is cool.
I accompany
Sorry?
Marcos when the buyer, uh, just a moment, when the buyer uh, look at on my YouTube platform and Facebook, the buyer, you as acting on behalf of the buyer, you should read and digest it properly because I'm the one who put everything online. So that easier for everyone to understand that this gold industry is very tricky if you don't know your buyer. It's really very tricky. And when I travel
Yeah,
to
of course.
Africa, I do charge my travel cost. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes a lot of sense because like I say, a lot of people have been scamming. Even I have been scammed as well.
Well, I was been
But
scam in Ghana
uh,
big
I'm
time. I was scam in Ghana
sorry.
as well. I was scam in Ghana as well. 2011. Hmm.
Yeah, which is not nice. And all I'm trying to do is manage transactions without export. I just want to be fair on both sides.
Okay, you
Okay.
can manage if your buyer really understand. Yeah. I'll tell you, I just
Yeah.
been to
So
Dubai 6 weeks ago. I met
okay.
a buyer, a foreigner that they flew to Dubai to open a company in Dubai. And you know that person, he spent $26,000 just to open a company. Mhm. And I was just listening to his frustration. And I told him, you should not open a company. You should buy because you are registered in your particular country and bring it to Dubai to your end buyer and then you resell it. Mhm. So because he is a little bit greedy, this buyer, until now he's still stuck in Dubai. Mhm.
Yeah. This is the problem that I have with one or two buyers as well. A lot of them are greedy. They want high discount and they don't want resell in Dubai. Um, but I think the buyer that I've got right now is interested in Dar es Salaam. I was in Dar es Salaam for 2 weeks
Mhm. What happened?
to manage. Yeah, we had so many sellers and meetings and nothing happened.
Oh, I see.
Um, yeah, so it's one of those things that you learn your lesson and you move on. But I just
Y-
want to make sure that
You know why
whoever I'm dealing with.
I'm going to advise you. I know you want to make money. This gold industry is a very lucrative business. And you think that you can get gold to go to travel unprepared. And you're gonna fail, I'm telling you. I myself, I have a bad experience in the past. Since then, I was the one who introduced this to the global domain because I want to correct the wrong perceptions of the buyer and also the seller. So the company hired Wilhelmina to handle their marketing. I am their mandate. At the same time, facilitator between both buyers and sellers. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you, but the solution still needs to be, from my point of view, I still want the seller, the buyer and the seller to meet up first. Don't want anything to be exchanged or offline. They have to build up that relationship first, and which is why I went there to just manage the initial transaction. But let's see how it goes. I really appreciate the call, and what I will do is I'll come back to you later on and see what we can do. Okay.
All right. Just read the procedure. It's very simple. I expand
No
it.
problem. I'll do.
Just read and digest it. Then you come back to Alamina, because you know how many brokers I rejected? Thousands since 2011. Thousands of them. Everybody knows me. I have to be honest with you. When you mention my name, people will run away from you. Why? They already knew that the price of gold is not for a bargain. We can give the buyer flexible price, but not much a huge discount. You're African, right? Originally, you're from Africa. Is that correct?
Yep.
And you are living in United Kingdom.
I was born here.
You were
So
born.
my life is spent over here. What to me, what is important is what you've just said. There's no huge discount in the industry,
No, there's none.
and you just need to make them aware of
Yeah.
what discount is.
Most of the buyer, they ask for the 25 discounts or 30 discount, and I told them, don't be a fool. To mine gold is not easy, and the seller has to apply for mining license, cost $70,000, and the seller hired the excavator and worker. He has to pay the workers wages, and those greedy buyer, I always say, don't be crook, because I don't like to deal crook. I will give you a discount. Fair is fair. You know, in Dubai, when the gold trader, you must understand, when your customer buy gold from us, he can resell it to 2% or 1.5%. And then they travel to Africa, talk to Alamina, we give them a very good discount in order for him to get the profit, so that the buyer will come back to us. But if you if your buyer is crook, no, it wouldn't. Recently, my head office in Conakry, he sent the Indian buyer out of the office. Can you imagine that? Indian buyer from Dubai?
It makes sense because some of them can be very rude, to be honest. So yeah, so you you have an office in Dubai, yes?
No, we don't.
Okay, you don't. Okay.
I have my online office,
right.
which is I'm based in Australia. That's why I'm here all the time. Can you see my? I think if you watch my platform, it's really very simple, Marcos. Really.
Yeah, let me have a look and come back to you.
Come back and go through on my platform on my Facebook. Go through and take time. You might learn out of my platform. Okay?
Yeah, I don't do Facebook. I just let me go through your.
Even on my YouTube, you learn every time I upload my video, every time I interview the buyer on the record, I upload that on my YouTube and on my Facebook. You might learn out of that.
Okay. That's
All right.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Marcos. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for the show. Thanks. Bye.
Good evening. I was just finished talking to a gentleman from United Kingdom, but his parents originally from Africa, but he said he was born in UK. Now he was asking me if we have gold in Dubai. No, we don't have gold in Dubai. We don't bring gold in Dubai unless the gold is fully paid. You are buying in Africa cash business. You are buying gold F.O.B, not cost insurance and freight only. Not LC, not C.I.F, not SBLC standard letter of credit. We don't give credit. Gold is cash business. You are buying world asset, so there is no credit. We have the gold. We invite you. You place your order first. Read the full corporate offer and digest it in front of you. Subscribe on my YouTube or subscribe or you add me on Facebook. I want you to read. Now scroll down. There's a page on Conakry. I just been to Conakry. And there's a page in Mali. I just been to Mali. And there's a page on Sierra Leone. I just been to Sierra Leone. I only travel to Africa when the buyer fully validated by this lady in front of you. And when I travel, I do charge my services to accompany you. I'm not going to travel for nothing. You are buying $1 million here, and then when you resell it, you get the handsome profit. My services is peanuts. If you cannot afford to pay the gold, therefore you cannot afford to pay my services. Now, I've given you free information already on the global domain worth $1 million. But if you're not paying attention, then you are not a buyer. To me, you're a bigger. Why? A bigger is begging to bring gold to his destination without any identification. So maybe you are a criminal or maybe you're a thief. Gold is a very dangerous business. You need to have a full export documentation. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, send me an F.C.O. The F.C.O is in front of you. Listen to this video from the beginning to the end. I keep on repeating and repeating. So I just interviewed this guy from United Kingdom. Now the price of gold today, you're gonna say, what is the price, Walamina? You are not paying attention. I put that on my Facebook page. Now, a while ago, the price of gold was 58,984, and then was changed to 59.44. Now we are now on here on my time is 10:13 in the evening. I'm going back to the world market because every half an hour the price changes. Okay, now the price is 59.42.55. A while ago, 59.44. Here is a little bit of down of $100, $200 is 59.42.55. So if I'm were you, Mr. Buyer, I rather place an order now. I know your business cannot function without the supply. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. Our selling price is LBMA. Whatever the price on the world market, we give you less discount of 8%. If you're gonna buy, say, well, Amina, I'm buying gold bullion. We don't sell gold bullion. You can buy the gold bullion to a licensee brokerage firm. There is no discount because that's already refined. You are buying unrefined, which is gold bar Dore. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, I wanna buy 24 carats. Only the refinery can make into 24 carats. Okay, there is still gold on the Dore bar. They're gonna refine it, they're gonna remove the copper, but still there is gold. The purity of the gold in Africa from 95, 96, 97, 98. It depends on every bar. So don't be a fool that you're gonna say, oh, I wanna buy 24 carats. Then you can buy that to the jewelry manufacturer or you can buy that to the refinery. Because the refinery is already refining the Dore bar and ready to market it, and the discount, maybe you're lucky if you can get 1%. We're giving you 8%. So if you're gonna resell it to your own customer, you have 7%. Of course, you're gonna say, well, Amina, I have also costing. Of course, that is business. And if you start a trial, you don't get much profit. But when you order continue or bigger order, your expenses can be recovered. Yes. And I bet you a year, your profit a year is 85%, because it depends on the quantity you are going to order, and then you're gonna resell it to your own customer. And the price of gold, it varies day to day. Middle of 2023, the price of gold could be 3,000 per ounce. You multiply that on 32.15, 3,000 per ounce, okay, times 32.15, that is 96,450. My gosh, Mr. Buyer, you might scratch your head. Less 8%. I don't know if you can afford. And then you're gonna ask, oh, I want big discount. Mr. Buyer, I think you are crook. Don't you know to mine the gold is not easy? My seller was telling me when he applied for the mining lease to the government, it cost $70,000. To hire the excavator, $1,000 a week lease. And then he has to hire a worker in order to dig the soil with their own hand, and the worker has to be paid. Right? They gather the dust gold. They wash it on the washing machine. They gather dust gold and smelt it into bar. Did anyone explain to you like this? None whatsoever. When they smelt into bar, they bring it to the city, to the office, ready for export. And the seller would not sell his gold cheap price, because the gold has a value. You're buying the world asset of the country. So, Mr. Buyer, I think I already explained to you, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, going back to this message on my Facebook, on my WhatsApp, someone is sending me a message. It says here, there are 9 points that everyone should know. If the seller asks you to pay 6% to 7% state taxes and shipping costs, that is 100% fraud. That was he said. I did response to this guy. I said, you're a fool. Saying that, you're a fool thinking that you cannot just take the gold out of the country or even diamond without government sales tax. The government will not give a certificate of clearance that the gold is free of illegal activities, and the diamond needs a Kimberley certificate that the diamond is free of blood diamond. Without that, you wouldn't get that precious item out of the country. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, what is the requirement? The requirement is in front of you already. Now, number 2, he said, if the seller asks you to pay for a CIMAC permit, it is 100% fraud. Correct. The exporter in Cameroon, he is responsible to secure the CIMAC permit because he owned the gold, and you don't own the gold. So you are buying the gold to that exporter from Cameroon. The Cameroon will apply for the CIMAC. If the seller asking you CIMAC permit to pay, don't pay. Correct. It could be a fraudulent, yes, because there is no CIMAC. The exporter, the owner of the gold, he has a responsibility to show to the world, to show to you that his gold is clean. Correct. Number 3, if the seller asks you to pay for the delivery and destination country, it is a fraud. No, it's not fraud. There is always a cost of delivery. Now, I'll give you an example. I purchase goods to send it overseas. My goods, the value is $450. So I put that on my box and I brought it to DHL. The DHL asked me where are the receipt of my goods. They itemize how much is the total sale value of my goods, which I did purchase at the shopping center because I have to send it to my loved one overseas. So the DHL charged me the shipping cost. And then the DHL asked me if I want to insure. Of course, I want to ensure that in case my goods will be missing, I can claim the insurance. That's not fraud. So I told this gentleman, you're a fool. Where did you get this idea from? So he understand when I explain it to him. Then number 5, it says, if the seller asks you to apply to him by playing yourself, this is 100% fraud. No, it's not. Do you think the seller will bring his gold to you without any payment? Of course, you have to pay for it. So this gentleman that he sent me this message, I explained it to him. You can only be fraudulent if you ask the seller to bring gold to you and you have not paid. Both of you are fraudulent. Right? Go on the internet, what is the meaning of fraudulent? Wilhelmina would not explain to you thoroughly because you have not paid my services either. I'm just very kind and generous to explain to you guys so that the future buyer that who found me on my YouTube, he would understand. Go to go on the dictionary, what is the meaning of fraudulent? If you're lazy, I'm going to give you the meaning of fraudulent. Just bear with me. What is the meaning of fraudulent? Those idiot that doesn't know, I'll give you the answer. What is the meaning of fraud? Okay? Okay. I'm just like a teacher. The meaning of fraud. Okay. The definition, it says here. So those brokers and fake buyers, don't be a fool. Okay? The fraudulent means you are deceiving yourself. Either the seller deceive you or either the buyer deceive the seller. So both of you are illegal or dishonest. That is called fraudulent. So I give you the answer already. Now, and the number 6, it says, if the seller has to pay his diplomat in advance, allegedly delivering gold to the destination of the country is a fraud. Yes, it could be, because a person who carry the gold through diplomat, you're cutting corner, meaning to say you are launderer, you are evading taxes. That is dishonest, that is fraudulent. You're dishonest. The meaning of fraud is dishonest. All right. So could be you are a fraudulent. Right. And it says, if the seller asks you only to open his BLC, MT760, or bank instrument, that is also a fraud. No, that's not. We don't deal his BLC. So you are a fraud because you don't have cash. You are going to open a bank instrument. You're going to use the contract of my seller in order to submit that into your bank to borrow money because you don't have the cash flow. So could be you can be a fraudulent, or could be you're a dishonest person, could be you are illegal person. Africa doesn't deal with its BLC. Africa is a cash business. I just been to Africa. I brought the buyer. He got the gold. I was in Dubai interviewing buyer. 98% or 50% are fake buyers. They travel to Dubai to open a company thinking they can save taxes. There's always tax. There's always import duty. There is always export duty. And if you're evading, I'm telling you, you're going to burn your fingers. I can tell you that. I think I already explained to you guys that this business is not for you if you don't have cash. I just finished having a conference with Marcos. He's from United Kingdom. I think I already mentioned to you from my previous video that there was a young guy from UK, but his parents from Sierra Leone, and he's brokering. He traveled thinking he can get good price, and he called me that, Madam, I met a seller that his gold is $52,000. I said, yes, that's true. So, wow, you are right, Madam. I'm here in Sierra Leone. So he didn't get the gold. And he said, Madam, can we work together? I said, no, I don't work with anybody. Buyer knows how to find Walamina. I rather deal with directly to the buyer, and I can give the buyer a fair go and fair discount. Another Indian, before strike on 2023, he was in Sierra Leone. He said he met the seller. The seller says to him, $53,000. And I said to this Indian buyer, I don't know if he's a buyer, Madam, is it true that the gold is 53? He said, yes, because the price of gold is getting higher and higher. He returned to India empty-handed. And I told him, why are you going to return to India? Madam, I have to be in a hurry because of COVID. India might be closing the door, or they might not allow to enter. Now, to all buyers, if you travel to Africa, you need to have a COVID testing. You need to have a vaccination 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm vaccinated 4 times. I have a booster, right? And you need to have a yellow fever. When you travel to Africa, you need to have medicine. You bring medicine, kit medicine, like you buy Panadol, you buy aspirin, you buy for malaria, you buy antibiotic for your safeguard. I'm just telling you because I'm a woman full of adventure. I always travel to Africa. I always bring my own medicine. Why? When you become sick in Africa, it's really very expensive. So you better be equipped. According to Mrs. Ford, did any brokers explain to you like this? None whatsoever. Mr. Buyer, you're lucky to meet this lady. We are very transparent. You're gonna say, well, Amina, I want to see the seller's profile. Yes, you will see the seller's profile after you send a letter of intent to purchase. Attention to Wilhelmina, because I'm the one who will validate you. Then when I'm satisfied, then I would know which seller I'm going to put you to travel with Wilhelmina. Then you will receive a response of your order, all the vital informations of the seller, the profile of the seller, you will receive it. But I would not release it unless you gonna be identified by Wilhelmina. To save time, we will send you a contract. All my seller's vital information, plus I'm going to send you the mining license, plus I'm going to send you an export license of the seller. I would not release this seller vital information to any ghost buyer. I wouldn't. I would not release the SKR unless you are fully validated by Wilhelmina. Why? The SKR is the safekeeping of the seller. Now in Mali, we have tons of gold. Some of the seller would not put his gold to the security company because it costs money. My seller in Conakry, he has his own private vault, right? In order to avoid paying the rent of putting his gold to the security company. In Sierra Leone, the seller has his own personal vault. Now in Mali, because tons of gold, they bring the gold to the security company and keep it there. We have tons of gold in Mali, 10 tons. But when you travel to Mali, Mali is really very strict. You are going to fail if you don't know the business. And you need to learn how to grease their hands. Remember, you're dealing with a third world country. Corruption under the table. So you have to learn, you have to be prepared. That's why you need Wilhelmina. I'm not going to give you more my knowledge. I've given you 50% of my knowledge. Remember, knowledge is very important. My knowledge worth $1 million. According to Philip from Germany, a few days ago, I beg to disagree, Mrs. Ford. Your knowledge worth $1 billion, not $1 million. I was just laughing. Philip was in Conakry. He works in Conakry as a university professor. He was telling me that, you know, Mrs. Ford, you are the only person who explain just like an elementary. You are just like a professor like me. I said to Philip, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Philip, for the flattering words. Madam, your knowledge is worth $1 billion, not $1 million. So I think he is right. So anyway, Mr. Baya, I wish you good luck. We are now January 6th, the first month of 2023. Now I want you to take time. Don't rush. No one is rushing. We don't ask you upfront. You have to pay the gold. And Wilhelmina's services is not for upfront. You have to pay for it. Because you need Wilhelmina's services to be with you. And if you cannot afford, meaning to say, you cannot afford to pay the gold. Simple as that. So, Mr. Bayo, thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening. I shall wait for you on live video call conference. If you have more questions, come. Come on Skype. Make sure you know how to introduce yourself. Make sure don't say hi because I really hate that word hi. My name is Wilhelmina. Make sure don't say hello. Just say, Wilhelmina, I visited your YouTube. I read and listen to the video. I am the buyer. So then you send me a letter of intent to purchase coming from you on your company letterhead, stating the carats you need, stating what purity you are looking for, stating where the gold to be delivered, stating what mode of payment. This is F.O.B. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening.